Bitcoin seemed to shake off bad news of the infrastructure bill, and the markets were hot, which led to those altcoins surging. Big gains were seen all around, but then in the blink of an eye, things changed, and they changed quick. Down the markets went all around yesterday. Was this just a slight correction, or are we going to turn back to bearish? Well, find out right quick in about 10 minutes, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Pulling out the Bitcoin price chart since the end of June, you would consider that a bullish looking chart, right? BTC bounced off of 30K July 21st and since has been steadily increasing for the past 3 weeks. Although there was one mid-run correction which began July 31st and ended around August 4th. What happened right before this correction? Well, Bitcoin did some unprecedented things. July 28th, a Charlie at BTC_Charlie tweeted about it. Bitcoin closed 8 consecutive days with green candles. And as Charlie showed, the last time this happened was all the way back in December of 2020, just before BTC went into the manic bull run. And actually, things got even hotter. Analyst Will Clement or Clementi tweeted about it on July 30th. He said, Bitcoin closed 10 consecutive green days. Now people should have seen a correction coming. That mid-run correction I was just talking about. Because switching back to Charlie's chart and looking after the hot 8 days in December, there was a correction back then too. A couple of red days, the price cooled off. 3 out of the 4 next days back in December were red. Just like July 31st to August 4th, a cool down where 4 out of the 5 days were in the red. Now after the correction, we have pumped up past the $46,000 level, which included the next 5 out of 6 days being daily closes of green. Although as we can see, the past 3 days haven't been friendly. 3 days of red as of yesterday. Which is why you see a lot of bears getting excited. This fall has pushed Bitcoin under a major technical indicator, which we just crossed back over. Bitcoin has fallen under the 200 MA or 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is a popular technical indicator for long-term market trends. It is simply an average of Bitcoin's closing price over the last 200 days. Being above the 200 MA usually indicates a bull market and buy opportunities, which as we can see for the majority of this run, we have been above it. Although the break below 40K in late May is when we fell below this long-term indicator. So breaking back above it was big, an overall sign that the markets were going to return to bullishness, scaring the bears back into their caves. But it only lasted for a day or so, and now the bears are out dancing again, going whoop whoop, with some of them saying we are doomed, #bulltrap. So what are my thoughts on all this technical hoopla, the TA technical analysis? Well, as most of you know, I don't waste my time on it, as there are way better analysts out there who provide their data and thoughts for free. And one I do really respect is that Will Clement or Clemente. He tweeted August 10th. Keeping it simple, watching to see if BTC closes above the 200-day MA today. If not, it's not unreasonable to expect a retest of 44K or even range highs to form a higher low. Next level to watch for is 49 to 50K. As Cred pointed out, that would be the last reasonable level for a macro lower high. So we didn't close above the 200-day MA, and a test of 44K was on the books according to Will, which is exactly what was happening yesterday. We were at 44K, he was spot on with that. The next level after this, according to Will, to watch out for is, sorry bears, not down but back up to the 49 to 50K range. Although other analysts not as popular as Will are providing a different view of things. A Revolt at RevoltCap on Twitter said this yesterday. Bear divergence playing out as expected, most likely closing below the 200 MA today. I want to see something like this in the coming days where Bitcoin builds a higher low around 40 to 42K. If that doesn't happen, 37K needs to hold, else no bueno. My best guess is it will hold. I'll be building longs. Revolt isn't a full-on bear shorting the markets, he is short-term bearish, thinking back down to 40 to 42k, and he will be building longs at those levels if we hodl. So what are my thoughts? 50k like Will or 42k like Revolt? Well, another tuber and analyst, Benjamin Cohen, has a poll up on Twitter asking just that. So let me answer that for him and for all of you watching this video. Does Chico pick a bearish 42k or bullish 50k as the next level? Well, Chico is rarely bearish, 50k is what we pick, and what a slight majority, just over 52% of others are picking too. Although, no matter what happens, don't fight the pattern and the models like the most popular pattern and model out there, the stock to flow model. This model's trend line has been scarily accurate regarding the price and when it happened since its inception. And Bitcoin has fallen under the trend line, one of the furthest and out of range we have ever seen. The last time the model has fallen that far below the trend line was a dip in late 2018, early 2019, when BTC crashed down to the 3K range. As we can see, it took over 6 months for the price to recover and get right on track with the trend line. Now, looking at here recently, we fell under the trend line around May 17th. So it has been about 3 months now since we have been below the trend line. And as we can see, the trend lately has been towards the trend line, not away from it. And the creator of this model, Plan B, tweeted this August 9th when Bitcoin was around 46k. He said, hashtag Bitcoin at 46k. We are 16 months after the halving, red line, awaiting the second leg of this bull market, with a chart of cycles before scaled to fit our current price levels. As we can see with each cycle, the peaks get lower, and it takes more time, more months after the halving to reach that eventual peak. The stock to flow S2F model's target peak for this time is 100k, 100,000 buckaroos. But the even more bullish S2FX model has a peak target of $500,000. $500,000 this time around is a tad too bullish for me, so let's stick with the original S2F. When could that target peak of 100k happen? Well, as we can see for the 2012 to 2016 cycle, the peak was reached about 13.5 months after the halving. For the next cycle, 2016 to May of 2020, the peak was reached about 18.5 months after the halving. 5 more months added on. So is it possible that this cycle's peak will be 5 to 6 more months higher than the time it took to reach it last time? That would put us at about 24 months since the halving to reach this cycle's peak. As of yesterday, we were just over 16 months since this cycle's halving. 24 months would put this cycle's peak sometime in March of 2022. The timing of this and the 100k peak fits many people's lengthening cycles and diminishing return models. But I have a different feeling of when the peak will come. I've been saying this peak would be around 100k too for a long time, but I haven't been saying that number would be reached in March of next year. I've been saying it would be reached sometime in December of this year, possibly January of next year. That would put it around 21 to 22 months since the halving, a slight lengthening. But why December? Well, I just go off what I know, what I have experienced. I've been involved with 2 cycles so far, and both times the peaks were at the end of the year. The around $1,200 peak in December of 2013 and the around $20,000 peak in December of 2017. December once, December twice, December a third time would make it so nice. Now, I know most of the models out there don't say December, but there is a model that fits this call around the end of the year. And this comes from a newer Twitter analysis that I've been coming to respect. A year of the bull on Twitter at misconfig_exe. Their model is based on the golden ratio of 1.618. He tweeted at the end of July, "You either understand that everything is cycles or you don't. Every bull run BTC has a mid-cycle correction during the summer, down to 1.618 golden ratio, concluding in July with a bullish hammer." And they include the charts below to show just that. And then last week he tweeted this, The fifth wave is coming, and the golden ratio plays a key role. This Bitcoin bull run is missing its fifth wave. The final push will send BTC and the total cryptocurrency market into mania mode. And then zooming into the chart he included, we can see his peak of this mania is around the end of 2021 or the beginning of 2022. So my friends, analysis of Bitcoin can come in many forms. You can listen to YouTubers who majority have no idea what they are doing and just want you to leverage trade with their Bybit link. Or you can do what I do and have your gut feelings and then follow the people who have been doing the technical steadily for years to help you guide your decision. And all the analysts talked about today are included in the description. Based on what I see, the peak of 100K is coming between December 2021 and March of 2022. Don't fight the bull. Cheers. I'll see you next time.